Recent research shows that 83% of the learners who receive gamified e-learning courses feel more motivated, while 61% of the learners who receive traditional e-learning courses feel bored and unproductive. The good news is that it doesn't have to take a lot of time and hassle to add gamification elements to your e-learning course. And therefore, in this video, I'll show you how you can turn a normal storyline quiz into an engaging one with gamification elements, triggers, states, and some variables. But before we get into this, I'll quickly show you how our gamified course called Learn and Earn works, so you know what we're gonna build in this video. In the Learn and Earn quiz, each learner is given 500 coins at the start of the quiz. Before each question, the learner sees the topic of the question and he must decide whether he knows a lot or very little about the topic. If he knows a lot about the topic, then he can earn extra coins in the game by betting the coins that he has already earned. If the question is answered correctly, the learner wins the number of coins he betted it. If the learner answers the question wrong, he loses the number of coins he betted it. Now, if the learner knows a little about the subject, he can play it safe. He can't bet any earned coins, but if he answers the question correctly, he earns a fixed number of 100 coins, and if he answers the question incorrectly, he loses 100 coins. Now let's dive into storyline. Now, I have a regular storyline question here with a normal correct and incorrect feedback layer. And if I want to add the gamification elements, I need two extra layers that are already created here. So the first layer is the layer that first opens above the question. It's the question layer where a learner can choose if he knows a lot about phishing scams or a little. And if he clicks on a lot, then the second layer will open, and this is the place a bet layer. Here can he place a bet with the coins. Now later on in this video we're gonna add the triggers, so it's all gonna be interactive, but the first step is to add the variables that we need in this video. To let the gamified question work, we need 3 variables, so let's create them. So I click here on variables, and here I can create my variables. We're going to create 3 number variables so we can do some calculations with them. Now the first variable that we're going to create is the total amount of coins. So I click here on the green plus sign. I name the variable coins total. I give it the type of number. Default value of 0 is OK. So I click on OK. Now we can create our second variable. So the second variable is the variable place coins. So I'll type in place coins. This is also a number variable, and I'll click on OK. And in this variable, we're going to store the amount of coins a learner wants to bet. And the last variable that we need, it will be our variable place coins compare. This is also a number variable, and we need this variable for our conditions later on in the triggers, so we can compare this variable to place coins and to execute our triggers. Now we created our variables, so I start with the triggers that adjust our variables. And these triggers are on our place the bet layer, and they are executed when the timeline starts. So the first trigger here will be a trigger that modifies or adjusts a variable. It will adjust the variable place coins to the variable coins total. So this means that the content of coins total is now placed into the place coins variable, and we do this when the timeline starts on this layer. So this is our first variable. Our second trigger will be a calculation. So what we'll do is we'll adjust the variable place and we'll multiply it by 0.75, and we do this so a learner cannot bet all his coins, but a percentage up to 75%. And our last trigger that we're going to create is the compare trigger. So what we'll do is we'll adjust the variable place coins compare, and we'll compare it to the variable place coins. So this means that the content of place coins is put into the place coins compare variable, so we can compare it later on in triggers if we need it. Now let's add the triggers to make this question interaction work. And I'll start with the trigger that shows the question layer when the timeline of this question starts. So what I'll do is I'll go to my base layer, click here on a new trigger, and I'll choose show layer, which layer, question, when the timeline starts on this slide. On my question layer, I add 3 triggers. So I'll go to my question layer. So the first trigger that we're gonna add is on the a little button. So I have the little button selected. I'll go to triggers here and it will be an adjust variable trigger. So I'll choose adjust variable, the variable place coins, and I'll set it to 100. So that means that if a user knows a little about the subject, he will play with 100 coins. So if he has the question correct, he gets 100 coins. Is the question wrong, 100 coins will drawn from his coin account. Now we have also need a second trigger on this button, and that is to hide this layer. So this trigger said hide layer, this layer, when user clicks button a little. Now for the button a lot, we also need a trigger, and that is to show our place bet layer. So I'll choose a trigger here, not hide layer, but show layer, and we'll choose the place bet layer when a user clicks on the button a lot. And now we need some triggers on the place a bet layer to make this interaction work. So I'll go to my place a bet layer here. So the first trigger is on the minus button, and it will subtract 50 coins from place coins when the user clicks on the minus button. So what I'll do now, I'll go to triggers, create an adjust variable trigger. So adjust variable, and we'll subtract the value 50 from place coins when the user clicks on button minus. Now for the plus button, we do the same, but then we want to add 50 coins. So here adjust variable is okay. Place coins, we'll add a value of 50 to place coins when the user clicks on the button plus. So now a user sees his place coins total, he can make it lower or higher, and in this way he can set his bet for the question. Now we need also two triggers on the place button to hide this layer and also the question layer. So what I'll do here is create a new trigger that says hide layer this layer when the user clicks on the place button, and we'll need a new hide layer trigger, and not this layer but the question layer when the user clicks on button 2. Now before we can test this question, we have to make some adjustments to our feedback layer. So therefore I go to my view tab and click on feedback master. So I want to add two text elements. For instance, on my correct layer, that you said you've won amount of coins and that you see the total collected amount of coins, and on the incorrect layer how many coins you lost and also the collected amount of coins. So what I'll do, I'll make this on the feedback master a little bit bigger, so I have room for a text element, and this one I will move it a little bit down. So now I have room for text elements, so I again go here to my feedback and add the text elements. So you see you've won the amount of coins, and here is a reference to place coins, and here's the collected amount of coins with a reference to coins total. And we do the same on our incorrect layer. So here I'll also place the two text layers, or the two text elements. You've lost the amount of coins and the collected amount of coins. And here on this layer we want to subtract place coins from coins total, and this has to be the other way around. So place coins from coins total, that's okay. And we have to adjust a trigger here that adds place coins to coins total. Now everything is in place. Let's fire up the preview mode in Storyline to see how our gamified question works. So we're in preview mode right now, and you see the choice that we have. So let's choose a lot, and you see that this is 75% of our 500 coins. So if I want to make a lower bet, I can lower this bet and click on place. Now you see here the question, so I know WhatsApp is the correct answer. If I click on submit correct, you won 225 coins, and I have now a collected amount of 725 coins. Now this is one question, but we can copy this question and paste it in with different contents, and so we can build our gamified quiz. What do you think about this gamified course in Storyline? It means a lot to me if you leave a message below this video in the comments section. And if you want to learn more about Articulate Storyline and creating e-learning courses, then check out the playlist right here. And if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching,
and see you in the next video.